Hey, John. I thought I would give you a little video tour of things too. Here on Mission Finder, just so you know, we have the mission, all this stuff here, but over here, I have the Mission Finder podcast, which I know you're directly involved in. And this is the sort of thing I'm doing. This was the last one I put in. Incidentally, I can generate or create somewhat generic images like this all day long on ChatGPT, or we can use direct photographs if you prefer. So I have the capacity to be able to do this and generate text, and this actually contains the podcast which you are a part of, so they can listen to it here or go into Spotify and listen to it there. So this is the kind of thing that I do on an ongoing basis. And this is the kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of sharing with you how I go about constructing this sort of thing. So, not that you would necessarily want something on a scale like Mission Finder, um, but we can do interesting hero headers like this that have a slider effect. We can do various animations. This is kind of like a carousel of blog posts. So I would recommend that you might think of uh, a strategy of adding periodic, like every 2 or 3 weeks, add a new blog post about some interesting subject matter that is part of. I don't know if you actually deliver sermons or you have scheduled speaking engagements where you're speaking about certain subject matters or incidents that you want to share with your people. But this would be a way of presenting things like that. Or if you have an interest in podcasts apart from Andrew, or even including some of these podcasts on your site as well. So just because we have a podcast that you and Andrew are doing over here, we could easily go into Spotify and simply create a kind of thing like this that outlines what it's about, and then have the actual podcast here. And perhaps you could have an account, a podcast account of your own, where you would have like a different image, like the featured image. That's what we call this in the business, a featured image, something that would be at the top of a page. So I'm just kind of showing you the kind of structures that we have. This is an older site that's probably 9 or 10 years old. I was telling you that I'm basically using the same content but putting it in a more up to date framework. So it's not like a huge makeover job. I'm just basically, this is a single page format that has a bit of a call to action, usually at the bottom, uh, uh, some kind of a contact thing. This is a portfolio of some of the things they do. So you could think in terms of, do you have like a set of activities or engagements or a calendar of things where we could indicate some of the portfolio of the various things that you're into and present it like this, and then they would click into. Actually, that's why I'm working on this. That's not really clicking anywhere in particular, but so we need to work on that and make sure these links are live and so forth. So this would be representative of a blog or a portfolio area, where you have different types of content that are more like on a dynamic basis, that you're updating it on a from time to time basis. Uh, this is the basic structure of any website. A hero header, a mission statement, or a deck where you're really in a very outliney type of way talking about what it is you're about, what you do, what your mission as far as your ministry is about. This would be, we can add video content here if you have any YouTube videos. Perhaps you have a YouTube channel going. We can tap into that content. Again, now this website, for example, has basically menu items up here, but most of them are really just traveling down to different spots on this single landing page, like so. It goes like that, rather than to a separate page. Now, we can create a hierarchy that involves separate pages or just traveling up and down on a single landing page. It's kind of up to you, and it's really based on if the content that you have that you're starting out with kind of fits on a landing page, and maybe an additional underlying page like a contact page, or maybe a more about us type of page. It could be 2 or 3 separate pages, or all the content could be contained on a single landing page like this. So that's something to think about. Here's another Andrew Arroyo site, aai.media. This is another example of a single landing page. The content here is about the fact that Andrew is involved in book publishing, podcast production, and a couple of other things. So this is, as a single page thing, it kind of goes down like this. Rides down the page like an elevator. Services would be literary, visual, video production, and also audio, podcast production. As we go, and then you can put in quotes like this if you want to add any scriptural or biblical quotations. Can be presented like this. This is kind of like a slider. There's different ones that appear like so, and they autoplay. Here's you. You're part of this. So, and here's how the portfolio of different things are presented. If you want to see content, that kind of shows that, and this goes to the actual post where it opens up kind of like this. It shows different podcast production services. That's what this is about. Here's a book called Adam that, so if you have any publications in mind, this would basically go to Amazon where it's listed for sale. If we go back to the home page. So this is just to kind of show you how things can be structured in different ways. You're here with Andrew and a videographer here, and these are the different things. This is a Mission Finder book. I believe this goes straight over to Mission Finder. Well, it does eventually. If we click on here, visit Mission Finder. So we can have a cluster of websites that kind of interrelate to one another. And so this is just kind of giving you an overview of things. And then we can have some statistical counter type stuff, but this is just kind of an effect. Phone number, contact box, that's usually at the bottom of things. That's kind of called our call to action section. And this would be a portfolio of things. These are the people involved, yourself included. And that's kind of, gives you a little bit of an idea of things. But that's Andrew's stuff, so I'm going to leave it at that for right now and send you this video and these links. And then I'm going to look around on the open internet and Google around for similar things that I think you're into. And then we can kind of synthesize all of this material together and come up with something unique and individual to what you're doing and what you're all about. Okay? So I'll be back in touch with another set of referential material, and we'll go from there.